Hi fight fans, and welcome to another edition of Split Decision Boxing. My own personal thoughts on up and coming fights and events surrounding the world of boxing. Well, I haven't done one for a long while, and I really wasn't going to comment on this one. I'm sure unless you're blind and deaf, you'll know that coming up in a little over 48 hours time, we've got the our very own the world's very own, America's very own, baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson, coming back after, is it 30 years away or something like that from since his last professional fight, to fight, well, how can I describe him? A YouTuber, to fight the YouTuber, Jake Paul. And I'm sure, again, unless you've had your head buried in the sand, you'll know exactly who Jake Paul is and what he's all about, and the fact that he's been trying to build, if you like, a boxing career and a boxing record. He's on record of saying he wants to become a bona fide world champion. He's had a series of fights against various non-boxing people from the world of MMA and stuff like that, culminating in he fought. I say culminating, that's not strictly true. He had one season, but he did fight a bona fide boxer. He fought Britain's very own fighter, from professional boxer from the Fury family. But he lost. Okay, so that was Tommy Fury, by the way. So he lost to Tommy Fury, and you know the others. Can you really count them? Now, before I go on to say anything else, I've put it on record on previous videos. If you've watched my previous videos about anything to do with Jake Paul, my thoughts are clear, right? I don't think he's in it for the right reasons. I don't think he's in it for the love of the sport. He's in it to build the Jake Paul brand, as far as I'm concerned. It's all part of the ongoing Jake Paul story, where he thinks he can do whatever he wants and walk into these different skill sets and different disciplines in sport. I mean, or whatever it might be in the world that he feels he can do, and can do it just as well as others. You know, what next? He's going to go into, I guess he's going to go into acting, and probably think, you know, he should be getting an Oscar within a year or something like that. But anyway, you know, it really annoys me, and I've put it on record that I hope, you know, well, I hope he gets spanked. I really do. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, right? He seems pretty arrogant to me from what I see. He seems like I don't know, one of these American, I don't even know how to describe him. He just gets under your skin, doesn't he? You wouldn't want him around your house, would you? You'd be thinking, oh, what tosser is this? You know, if you went to a barbecue and there's someone like him there that obviously wants the attention, wants the limelight, he wants to, you know, and they're louder than everybody else, when they're doing things that nobody else does, because everyone else would think, well, if I do that, I look like a right tit. But he would happily do. That's the sort of fella he is, and I don't know, it just gets under my skin. But let's just talk about the actual fight that's coming up on for Britain. Obviously, it's the early hours of Saturday morning, and I believe the ring walk is scheduled to be about 4 a.m. Saturday morning. You can watch it on Netflix, free of charge, which is great. That is a positive to come out of it. And I'd love to see Netflix grasp the mantle on professional fighting and get a few more fights that we can see. We're already subscribing to Netflix anyway, you know, same as we're already subscribing to Sky, same as we're already subscribing to whatever other channels you're subscribing to. Why should you have to pay again to watch these fights? I've said this before. PPV, pay-per-view, as far as I'm concerned, can do one, right? It's got no place. It's just greed. And I know these fighters are the ones that are stepping into the ring. They're the ones that are putting their lives on the line. I get that. They're the ones that are, taking the pain and dishing the pain out. But they are rewarded at the top level. By the time it comes to Sky or, DAZN or whoever it might be, and it's pay-per-view, trust me, they're getting paid very, very handsomely, despite the pay-per-view tickets, It's just greed, man. Do they really need that extra? Of course they're not going to turn it down. I don't blame the fighters. I don't blame the promoters for pushing it. But what I do blame the promoters for, and the media companies and the, whatever they are, I blame them for the fact that they're taking the fans of the sport, they're taking the likes of you and me for a ride, right? They're taking us for mugs because we're paying our hard-earned, and some of us can ill afford to pay for this, right? It's bad enough paying. I pay over £100 a month just for Sky. So to pay another £25, £30, whatever it is for a pay-per-view fight, it's just ridiculous. I can't warrant that. We're going through a period of economic crisis at the moment in this country, where we're supposed to be putting our belts in, and you're trying to make every second count. We're moaning because the energy prices are going up so high, fares are so high, all these fees that you have to pay, and to warrant 100 plus 30 quid or 25 quid just to watch what you want to watch on telly. It's a big call, man. It's a big call. So we've got to be careful with it all, we got to count the pennies. So hats off to Netflix for that. So this is coming up. It's on Netflix. Ring Walk, as I say, it's about 4 a.m. It's going to be Saturday morning, UK time. They're fighting in Texas. Arlington. Is it Arlington? And as I say, you've got Mike Tyson. Hasn't had a professional fight for 30 years, something like that. Everyone of my generation knows what the young, hungry, angry Mike Tyson was capable of. And let's be honest. And Jake Paul, if you're listening to this, which you won't be, but if you're watching this, make no mistake, my friend. You would not have wanted to step into the ring 30 years ago to meet angry, hungry, violent, the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson. Because he would have terrified you. You wouldn't have stood a chance in hell. Now, as it stands, you do stand a chance in hell. And the reason that you do stand a chance in hell is because you're fighting a man who, as I say, hasn't fought professionally for 30 years. And he's 58 years old, man. Come on. Where is your... What are you gaining out of this? What are you gaining? If you win, what are you gaining by beating a 58-year-old man? Regardless as to whether he was once the baddest man on the planet or whether he, no matter how hard he's training now for this fight, there's nothing in it for you. There's no kudos for Jake Paul to win this fight. All right, it goes on his resume. I got in the ring and beat Mike Tyson. Oh, did you? Wow. Yeah, he was 58. He was almost 60 years old. He hadn't fought for 30 years. Oh, really? So you're a bully then? Is that what you're saying? You beat up an old man? Is that what you're saying? Don't impress me much. But hang on a minute. Let's look at the fight the other way. Let's imagine tomorrow morning or for Saturday morning, Mike Tyson walks into that ring fully prepared, which I'm sure he will, fully trained, which I'm sure he is, fully hungry for this fight, which I believe he is, and smashes Jake Paul to pieces, knocks him out the ring, busts him up, breaks a few ribs, knocks him out cold, has to be pulled off him like the old days. What are they going to say then? Well, it's Mike Tyson. What do you expect? Of course he done that. That's Mike Tyson. What would Jake Paul be saying? To be honest, it's what I expected, man. You know, I thought, you know, he's a legend and there's no disgrace to be... Oh, go away, you little prick. So, Mike Tyson can't win this fight either way, right? Because, as I say, if he goes in and loses, well, he's a 58-year-old man, what do you expect? If he goes in and wins, what is Mike Tyson? What do you expect? And the same for Jake Paul. If he wins, well, you've beaten up a 58-year-old man, what do you expect? And if he loses, well, you've lost to Mike Tyson. Of course you're going to lose to Mike Tyson. What do you expect? I'm more concerned... I have two concerns here, mate, first of all, right? The first one is that Mike Tyson, in his head, will think he's still 20 years old. And there's a danger that this could be the last time we ever see Mike in a ring, and that the last time we ever see Mike in a ring, we might be seeing him getting hurt, and he could get seriously hurt. Because Jake Paul's not a small fella, you know? And he has got a punch. We've seen that in his fights against these MMA guys and people like that he's absolutely flattened. So we know he can punch, and anybody over 200 pounds can punch, can hit, you know. So there is that danger, because Mike is going to be slower. He's not going to be as agile. He'll still have the punch. He'll still have the power. He won't be as fast. He won't have the movement. I'm worried that he won't have the movement, the head movement that he used to have to duck and dodge the heavy, clumsy blows that will come in from Jake Paul. And I'm worried that he might catch one of those and end up getting himself hurt. And the last thing I want as a true boxing fan and fanatic is my last memory of Mike Tyson in a ring, seeing him stretch it out and possibly damaged beyond repair because of his age. I'm worried about internal injuries. We know he's had problems with an ulcer. So any blows down the solar plexus, I'm worried about, that could do damage internally and cause internal bleeding and could have serious effects. Equally, I'm also worried, on the other hand, that Jake Paul just doesn't get how ferocious, the ferocity of Mike Tyson. Because as I say, although he'll be slower, not as agile, you know, he won't have lost the aggressiveness, and he won't have lost the power, and he won't have lost the determination to win at all costs. So the other thing that scares me is that Jake Paul could end up getting hurt. And, you know, Mike could quite feasibly, I'm sure he won't, but Mike could quite feasibly lose it in the ring. You know, revert to type, if you like, and do some serious damage to Jake Paul and then regret it afterwards. Now, I hope that doesn't happen. So either way here, people, there's a real danger that somebody could get hurt. And I don't want to see that. You know, I love the sport. I don't want to see people get hurt. Now, interestingly, I was watching a video Carl Froch. If you haven't watched it, by the way, guys, Froch on Fighting is a great YouTube program series that's on, where Carl, ex-world champion Carl Froch, Hall of Famer, talks about upcoming fights and fighters and all sorts, and gives his unbiased or biased opinion and view on fights and fighters. And it's really interesting. Now, he states on his last broadcast that I saw that he's heard, or he believes, that there's a clause in this contract that Tyson isn't allowed to go in and finish Jake Paul in the early rounds, rounds 1 or round 2, which we all know he's more than capable of if he's probably at 85% of his old full potential, right? He's more than capable of going in and absolutely walking through Jake Paul. So Carl Froch says that he believes, or he's heard somewhere, that that's not going to be allowed to happen. There's a clause in the contract, and if he does do that, he will lose at least part, if not all, of his purse. So that tells you that possibly this is more of a manufactured, carefully managed fight, which really is more of an exhibition, although it's officially sanctioned as a professional fight. It's 8 2-minute rounds. It does go on your professional record, but possibly it could be that the whole thing will be a bit of a farce. Will I be watching it? I really would like to say yes. However, 4 a.m. in the morning, Saturday morning, I've got to work all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So it's unlikely, to be honest. I'm probably going to get up Saturday morning ready for work and switch on the TV and find out who won and how, and wait until it comes out and on YouTube or something like that. I don't know. I'll decide. But what do I think is going to happen on the night? If it's a full-fledged fight with the rules, with no clauses in contracts or anything like that, I'm thinking if Tyson can get in early, the first minute of each round, and fight in bursts, and if he catches Jake Paul, it's game over. Equally, Jake Paul swings wildly. He's a big, heavy guy. He hits very heavily. If he's clever about things and covers himself up and makes Tyson work, makes Tyson chase him around the ring, and then hits him on the counter when he sees Tyson getting tired, I can see Jake Paul either going the distance and winning it on points, or perhaps a later round stoppage, round 6 or 7 round stoppage. It could go either of those. I don't know. I'm hoping it goes the Mike Tyson way. And I hope no one gets seriously hurt. That's really all I've got to say on it. That's it, folks. I just wanted to give my view on it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, shot from my bedroom, by the way. I'm sitting on the bed while I'm doing this. I don't normally do that. But if you like this video and you want to hear more of my views on boxing and boxers, please do me a favour, hit the subscribe button. The more subscribers I get, I'll do more videos. I don't know, I need to grow my audience. I need to get the interest back up with people. So please comment below, hit the subscribe button, give it the thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Thanks, folks. Bye.